I think it can be helpful for all the teachers and mentors. I created an indicative structure of the mentoring program. So it's like 12 different, let's say, ideas on how you can structure these 12 meetings that you're going to have with the girls. Okay, I'll share my screen. This material will also be uploaded on our Google Drive, so you can have a look at it throughout the piloting phase. Okay. Okay. So I don't think I have any notes. Δεν πειράζει, δεν έχω notes. Do you see it okay?
Yeah, I see the presenter's version with notes and next slides.
Okay, let's see. Δείξει κλικού. Okay. Slideshow. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you. So let's see how we can structure I'll run through it very briefly because you need to work a bit and we will all work with Jean. But this is like our ideas on how you can structure the mentoring phase, okay? So I divided it in 12 meetings, let's say, and you can have a look. We'll have a look at it together and enrich it as you go, and depending also on the students that you have, the subjects of what they are students in and everything. So the first meeting could be like an introduction and the empowerment of the team that you're going to have. You can have an icebreaker exercise. I suggest that in every meeting that you have with the girls, you start with an icebreaker exercise. We will also suggest some ice-breaking exercises that will be uploaded on our drive, so you can have a look at them. But also, I think this depends on the participating organizations to come up maybe with some ideas for the ice-breaking that you will do. It's always good to start with a bit of a physical, let's say, warm-up and some ice-breaking exercises to lift up the mood with the girls, okay? So here we suggest a superhero, let's say, introduction, where each mentee shares the story of an inspiring woman or details they admire and why. So you can start the conversation about women in professions that were mostly male-dominated. You can discuss about the importance of women in technical fields, and you can watch with them a video. Here you will find the video and the link inserted. We're not going to watch these videos now, but you can watch them after we finish. And you can the videos can work as a starting point of discussion with the girls. And also you can ask them to do an activity to write their personal career aspirations and share them with the group. Okay, so you will see all the slides are in this kind of format. Then the second meeting, let's say, how you can understand team dynamics. You can do a team building exercise like the tower challenge, where you need to build all together a tower using simple materials. You can discuss how teamwork can overcome barriers, and again, watch this video that we suggest, and from there build on, let's say, depending on the group. Communication and confidence building. You can try role-playing scenarios to practice assertive communication. We will do some exercises also with Jean, more or less today, and you will find more in the PowerPoint. You can check also these links that we have to find role-playing scenarios. You can discuss the role of communication in leadership, and again, watch these videos and ask them for their feedback, their ideas, and try, to connect, let's say, this structure with their needs and the lessons that they are taught and their ideas about what they want to become, to try in the future, and so on. Now, You can have like industry insights and innovations depending on what the girls are interested in. So from their first meeting where they declare their aspirations or their, the needs, what they are interested in, you can find, ideas about this. And you can invite someone from a female professional in the technical field to have like a talk to discuss with the girls. If you know someone even from the school, outside the school, preferably, and you can ask them to discuss about innovations driven by women. You can ask them to search online during your meeting, or you can ask them beforehand so they have a kind of homework and they come prepared and you can discuss all this. Then what we call career path exploration, use mind mapping techniques to explore different technical career paths. You can try mind mapping with the girls and discuss emerging fields and opportunities for women, how they see this, what do they know, are they informed about the emerging fields and careers, and you can help them, of course, with that as you know more. Then problem solving and critical thinking, which is, of course, soft skills that are very crucial today. You can have a case study and try to solve it, ask for their opinions. You can search online or create your own case study and discuss innovative approaches in technical scenarios. And of course, design thinking workshops. You can search online, but also I can add some extra links, even though I believe most of you know what design thinking is. But I will also add some extra links so you can take under consideration. Building resilience and coping with setbacks. The exercise that we suggest here is journaling on personal experiences and how they were overcome. This can also be a discussion to ask girls how they overcome specific incidents that happened. If you remember, we also discussed about this during our first webinar, to ask them specifically what skills they use to overcome a setback. So you get to understand more, how they act, how they are, what skills they tend to use. A discussion point could be lessons learned from setbacks, and this is a crucial lesson. And I think you should stress this point that everything that happens more or less in a life can work as a lesson, and how we can turn this negative, let's say, setback into something useful for our future. We also suggest here a book. You can have a look at it and check on it online. Innovation and creativity in technology. You can brainstorm with the girls a tech solution for a community problem using, again, mind mapping. How innovation can be a catalyst for change. Again, a reference. Check this book, Innovators DNA. And a video on how to build your creative confidence. Leadership skills development. Leadership skills are crucial, especially for girls, that the stereotype wants the girls not to be so strong leaders as boys. So it's very crucial for them to develop also the skills and know that they can become leaders. You can analyze leadership styles with the girls through self-assessment quizzes, but also discussion. Discuss the characteristics of effective leaders. Is it like someone who is really strong? Is it someone who is a bit Machiavellian, an effective leader, or in today's world, someone who is more empathetic and flexible and closer, let's say, to the employees, the members of their team, and what it means to be a great leader by a woman, Rosalind Torres, in a TED Talk. Empathy and inclusiveness in tech. Diversity workshop, including exercise to understand different perspectives of different things, what could happen, how we solve issues through empathy and inclusiveness, how the girls perceive the term empathy, how they perceive the term inclusiveness, especially in a technical male-dominated environment, the role of empathy in teamwork and leadership. All these are ideas for discussions. And the power of diverse teams in technology. And as you go towards the end, let's say, of the mentoring sessions, feedback and continuous improvement. So role play feedback sessions using structured methods like situation, behavior, impact. You find here the links and you can read a bit more. The importance of constructive feedback in personal and professional growth. You can use the radical candor models for feedback. Again, there's the link here and you can check on it and get an idea. And you can also watch the video, The Art of Receiving Feedback, which is very important, not also for the girls, but also for us as teachers and mentors. And towards the end of, like, let's say the final session with the girls, a group reflection session using a digital whiteboard if you want, if you are online, to document key takeaways, setting action plans and future goals for continued personal and professional development. So you can set some goals for their future, what you can do next year or what they're planning to do. And also a video suggestion and a book suggestion that you can take a look at and get some more ideas and inspiration. So this is more or less a structure, a general structure that can help you structure a bit your own program. I will stop sharing. Yes. Okay, all this information will be on our drive. And if you feel the need, and if we discuss more things in Bilbao, we can enrich it a bit, or you can also enrich it with ideas, especially the partners who will do the pilotings. And let's move on to Jean. You're muted, dear.
Okay, I also have to make a lot of case studies for the work that I do. And sometimes it can be daunting where to start. I use AI. I use ChatGPT and I put in as much information as I can. And then I get something that is close to what I want. And the more information you give AI, the better it performs. So even if you need to fine tune, make some changes, you're off to a very good start. And then you can say, make me a different one, exactly the same. And you can save yourselves a lot of time, because it can be very time consuming developing case studies. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Ersi, you need to make me co-host or enable me to share.
Ersi, could you allow also Nicolò, who is waiting in the wedding room? Please.
Yes, we will admit.
Okay, folks, can you see my screen now? I'm going to turn the subtitles off.
Yeah.
It says mentoring program session 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought that I would pick up on Ersi's comment about building the relationship and using icebreakers. Icebreakers, I'm sure you already use, but they can be very useful in a conversation too. And I thought we might try one. So I would like you to think about this question, and you can either share with me or you can put it in the chat box. So if mentoring were an animal, what would it be and why? So a little bit of outside the box thinking, some ideas. Do you want to chat it or do you want to share it? I've got one. Shall I ask people? So like Frederica, do you want to share or do you want to chat?
We are writing, but we can share it with you, yeah?
Okay, let's share.
So let me stop
share, hey?
writing.
Sharing is nice. Sharing is nice. Okay,
Okay,
let's go.
so the three ladies from Farab that are here at school, we were thinking about a dog, because a dog is empathic, it's friendly, so it's always there to support us, maybe something like that.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you. Alexandra, shall I go through the names as I see you on my screen, or do you just?
I think that, Jan, sorry. For us, for Farab, it's better to wait for people to volunteer because we have different English levels, and
Okay.
sometimes it may be difficult if you ask them and they feel shy. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, though, okay, I'm a native speaker. I'm actually from Wales. So I'm a native speaker,
Yes, we
but
noticed that,
I work in Greek too. So I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And I just want to say this is not an English class. We don't care about people's English level. We care about your thoughts. So, all right, let's have people volunteer then. Thank you for sharing. It's not nice.
Thank you.
Who'd like to go next? But what do I do if nobody volunteers?
So you have to be a teacher.
Pressing people. Let's
Okay,
go, guys.
I have
Mirren,
another
thank you.
suggestion. Okay, I could say an elephant.
Oh, wow.
Okay, because they have like a really strong social bond. Also, they are patient and they have like a good guidance in their family structure. They are protective and have a lot of empathy and well, and they have wisdom also. So more or less, like they are like a family structure, let's say.
Great. Thank you. Now, if somebody else wants to say a dog or an elephant, that's okay. You don't have to change it. We don't all have to come up with different ideas. We can share ideas. Thank you. Next.
Okay, so as again, Ines, my colleague here, she
Yeah.
was talking about a horse because
Right.
they are also very sweet. They are using therapy for children and adults, so maybe it's good to deal with them, and they can be also supportive. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
And
What's
one
that about?
answer, may I talk, please?
Yes.
Yeah, one of my colleagues, her name is Esra from Turkey and Marmara School. She says that it will be just a wolf because the wolves travel in packs and they care of each other always. And one of them, usually the leader, whose name is Alpha, care about the others and they are always together. It can be wolf.
Yep. They take care of each other indeed. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I see some plenty of people who haven't spoken up yet. Anybody else want to add one? Lydia, are you thinking about it? You're
I
on mute.
am, but
Go on then.
I just thought about a dog because that's like the easy answer, I guess.
Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, you know,
So
I've got
not very
dogs.
creative on my
I've
side.
got dogs. I've got dogs. I can, yeah, and I'm a volunteer with guide dogs. So I really feel that guide dogs can, you know, dogs can really support and help people to live their life to the full. All right, I'm going to give it 2 more minutes. Anybody else? And then we'll move on. Okay. Well, thank you for those of you that shared, and that's nice. So having a little conversation about something that is sort of linked. Like we're talking about mentoring, it's sort of linked, but it's a bit of fun, it's an icebreaker, and that is something that is
Jean, I'm sorry.
yes,
May I talk?
of course.
One more answer from my colleague. We are a bit late because of the English language. They are talking in Turkish to me, then I'm just trying to translate. May I tell her answer, please?
Love to.
Okay. She says that if mentoring were an animal, she thinks that it will be a spider because spiders require patience, strategy, and observation as they weave their webs into a complex and careful way. This is very similar to the mentoring process also. Spiders can interact with other creatures by collaborating in different areas, just as a mentor can work with different personalities, skills, and goals, she says.
I like that. And also, if I can build on her idea, as you were describing it, spiders also make that web, which is a bit like the networking we need to set up as mentors. So that's nice. Great.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Betül Çetinkaya, she answered.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. But if we were to look at teaching, would it be the same animal or would it be different? Is there a difference between teaching and mentoring? What do you think? What? I've gone forward. I've lost my people. Hello? Ersi, am I in?
Yes, yes, we hear you
Okay.
perfectly.
Okay, because I've suddenly lost my faces.
Teaching could be more like an owl, let's say, because of the wisdom it represents, let's say, anyway, whereas mentoring could be something more personal. So,
Yeah. I think teaching too is also about, as you say, sharing the wisdom, whereas mentoring is more about helping that other person grow in the way that they want to grow. Teaching is about passing exams a lot of the time, whereas mentoring is about people finding their own growth. So I think that there is definitely a difference. We can't be the experts as mentors because we're not inside the soul, we're not inside the head of that young woman in front of us. So I think whereas teaching is giving input, mentoring is bringing out what that person, what that young woman has to offer and to develop. Okay, so if I move on, we've mentioned in our initial activity, both building networks and creating supportive learning environments. Unfortunately, in many classes, young women do not feel that they are entering a safe and trustworthy space. Neither often do young men. So one of our challenges as people who are involved in creating such an environment, whether teachers in a room, in a class, or policymakers at a different level, we need to make sure that there is gender inclusive language, hands-on experience, practical experience for people, to promote role models, either as Ersi suggested, using videos or to invite speakers in. We also now, with the digital world, can access speakers all over the world without them having to travel. In-class collaboration, mixing genders, mixing strengths. Growth mindset, which may be a new term or may not, but we're going to look at that in detail because I think it's very important. And avoidance of hate speech, managing hate speech. Okay, so I'm going to spend some time talking to you about growth mindset because I feel it is a basic stone, a foundation stone of people achieving more of the things they want to achieve. Many people carry a fixed mindset throughout their entire lives. A mindset that says, I can't, I'm no good at, only men can, women can't. They believe that they're born with their abilities and they're unchangeable. I'm no good at singing, I'm no good at maths. They typically feel that even with hard work, persistence and learning, their skill level will not improve. Schools do not help because they fail people. One school that embraced growth mindset got rid of the word fail and uses the expression not yet. Some people have a very high opinion of their own skills, which is in itself a fixed mindset. And so they do not accept feedback and they don't try anything more challenging because they don't want to look like they're no good. With a fixed mindset, people do not admit that they have deficiencies, and so they cannot correct them, and so they cannot grow. One study showed that almost 40% of students with a fixed mindset lied about their scores when asked to describe their experience after some hard maths problems. I'll introduce you to the woman who talks about growth mindset in a minute. Her name is Dweck, Catherine Dweck. She says she's a PhD in neuroscience and communication and that sort of thing. And she is the initiator, the sharer of this idea of a growth mindset. Well, once you start reading about a growth mindset, it is so obvious that that is the way to go. That is the way we should be going as people about ourselves, people who are guiding people and helping people to develop. So a growth mindset is when students understand that their abilities can be developed. If they want to put in the effort, but they can develop. Now, I could say that my singing, I am definitely not Maria Callas, but if I took singing lessons, I could be a better singer than I am now. So we can't all be number one, but the growth mindset idea is about being better, doing more than we currently do. In a fixed mindset, people believe their basic qualities, like their intelligence or their talent, are simply fixed traits. They spend their time documenting their intelligence or talent instead of developing them. They think that talent alone creates success without effort, and they choose situations where that can prove themselves true. So they avoid anything new, avoid anything difficult, so that they never have to doubt themselves or seem unsuccessful in the eyes of others. In a growth mindset, though, people believe that their most basic abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Brains and talent are the starting point. And this view creates a love of learning and a resilience that is essential for great accomplishment. And one of the things that growth mindset says is to help students focus on what they did that helped them achieve, even if that achievement was only a little bit more. So, for example, in primary schools, it's very easy for smart children to get their A's. Getting an A gets harder and harder as you go through life. So if people are focused on achieving the A, then they get more and more disillusioned with themselves. Whereas if we start saying to people, what did you do to help you get that A? How did you achieve it? What processes did you use? What behaviors did you demonstrate? Then we help them focus on understanding, on defining, on appreciating the skills and behaviors that will take them forward in life. I'm going on, but if anybody wants to interrupt me, talk to me, of course, that's absolutely fine. So I've already said quite a bit about this. How we interact and encourage students affects their attitude toward learning. A lot of the time, by the time children get, young women, young men get to vocational schools, damage has been done. They already feel that they are failures. They already feel that they have not always achieved as much as other people in schools. And schools encourage that. A positive mindset is the difference, though, between a student giving up because they're not a math person and a productive struggle that yields growth. But a growth mindset isn't just about effort. It's about mindset. In the fixed mindset, everything is about the outcome. If you fail, or if you're not the best, then it's been wasted. How many times have I heard people, even with a soccer match with kids, did you win? No. And I'd say, well, did you enjoy yourself? What did you do that helped the team? And I'd hear people, parents saying to me, nothing, that's not important. What matters is if you win or if you lose. Fixed mindset. The growth mindset allows people to value what they're doing regardless of the outcome. They're tackling problems, charting new courses, working on important issues. People search for cancer cures. We're still looking. But every time somebody does something, the search is rewarding, the search is meaningful, and the search moves the world forward. Now, I'm not going to show you this, but this is Carol Dweck. This is her book. It's called Mindset. And it's very easy to read. It's been translated into lots of languages. I'm sure you can find it in your own. And there are chapters on parenting, chapters on business, chapters on school, and chapters on relationships. So it's not a book that you actually have to start at the beginning and go through to the end. You can dip in and pick what's of importance to you at that time. This video sums it up. So I think this video, and I'm sure you all know that in YouTube, even if you don't have subtitles in your own language, through auto-translate in the YouTube system, you can actually get some subtitles in your own language. This is also a nice video that could be used with your students, introducing the idea of the fact that everybody has the potential to grow and to do more. So now I have a quiz for you to think, what kind of mindset do you have? So what I'd like you to do is to look at the sentences on the screen and think for yourself, is this a growth mindset or a fixed mindset based on what we've done? I'm not going to ask people what their answers are. I'm just going to have you look at it, and then I'll show you the right answers and we'll talk about it. So if I give everybody 5 minutes to read through that, if you need more time, of course, let me know. So you read the statement and you put a tick by the side of it. Because you're probably not able to do that on your screens, what I suggest you do is write down on a piece of paper 1 to 13, and then by the side write either G or F. So you go 1 to 13, and then as you read the sentence, number 1, is it G or F? Is it growth or fixed? So that you don't need to do too much writing. Okay, any questions?
No, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so 5 minutes, I'll time it, but if you need more time, you just let me know. How about everybody else? We have another minute if you need it. Can you do a hands up if you finished, or a thumbs up or something if you finished, please? Thanks, Miriam. And for Abby. Okay, I think we're good to move on. This will all be uploaded when Essie uploads things. So again, it's an interesting tool to use with people to see. It's not really about evaluation. It's more about provoking conversation. So let's take the first one. Anybody want to go? You're either good at it or not. Is that growth or fixed? What do you think?
We see a hand. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
So it's for us, Essie. Okay. So we think that the first one is a fixed mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fixed mindset. That's the whole premise, the whole basis of a growth mindset. It's okay to fail. You can get better next time. It's going to go on the other side. It's going to be a growth mindset. This is something that we hear quite a lot from children who work with project-based learning, that they know that their experiments that they're doing to find answers might fail. There's no point in going on when you get frustrated. Fixed. What the theory suggests is if you are frustrated, take a breath, ground yourself, move outside, come back on. This is a big one in the workplace. If you succeed, I look bad. We've got a fixed mindset there. Some of my things have slid, but anyway, okay. I need to hear that I'm good.
I think it's
Again, a fixed mindset. You need to hear that you're trying. You need to see for yourself, evaluate for yourself that you're trying. My abilities determine how well I do. Anyone want to guess on that one?
growth.
It's actually going to go into fix because it's not only your abilities. Your abilities are a certain thing. Let's say our abilities are this much. I finally stay with my abilities and what I can do. I don't grow. So by saying my abilities are this much, but if I try, if I experiment, if I do more things, if I get feedback, if I learn, if I do things differently, then my abilities grow. So our abilities do not define us. Our mindset and our effort define us.
Yeah, but we were discussing here the abilities in terms of being able to overcome situations. So it will be growth, but
yeah, okay. With that interpretation, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I think that the issue is that there is no box that we're in.
Mhm.
A fixed mindset is a box and somebody's nailed down the lid.
Yeah.
Whereas a growth mindset, we can open that box and do more. I can learn to be better at anything I want to is, of course, our growth mindset. I like to try new things that challenge me. So again, it's going to go into the growth set. The amount of effort you put into something will make the difference. Yeah, Mustafa's going on a yes, that one. Agree with you, Mustafa. I hate it when I fail. I feel stupid.
Fixed.
It's fixed. And how often are we going to come across that? I even say it to myself sometimes. And then I say, come on, lady, get a grip. You know, this is not the way to think. We're set up all through school, all through business life. We're set up to have to be successful all the time. And I think one of the challenges for mentors is to be able to say, okay, I'm not getting ahead with this young woman as much as I'd like to. I need to get feedback. I need to get help. And not to feel stupid. Not people hide in the, I work a lot in the business world with communication skills. They hide what they're not good at, rather than embrace it and ask somebody to step in and help out. When I get frustrated, I take a break and start again. That's obviously the opposite of this one. So this one is a fixed mindset and this one is a growth mindset. When you succeed, I feel inspired. And there we're into our growth mindset. And this is obviously the opposite of if you succeed, I look bad. There's plenty of room for a lot of successful people in every environment. There's plenty of room for everybody to do great things. And this is a key concept, I believe, in mentoring. When you see students do well, get good jobs, it's important to encourage our mentees not to be jealous, not to think I can't do that, but to feel inspired as to what they can achieve as well. And the last one, please recognize the effort I've put in is growth. Give me feedback on the effort. Give me feedback on the way I've worked. Don't just focus on the end result. Okay. So anybody want to comment or ask anything about that?
One of my colleagues, she wrote something in Turkish. I will try to translate.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and her name is Betül Uslu from Turkey. She said that sometimes we can think that the fixed mindset is like a box, and we are in the middle of the box, and somebody nailed the lead. And whereas with a growth mindset, we can open that box and we can do more. And
Yeah.
that she can learn, or we can learn to be better at everything what we want with the growth mindset.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Exactly true. The challenge for us is to have a growth mindset ourselves, especially about the young women we are mentoring. We have to believe before they do. Yeah, we have to believe before they do. We have to believe that they can grow so that we can help them grow and develop in them a growth mindset. Now, here I do have a video for you, because it's all very well for me to say we need to do it, we need to help others do it, but we also need ways in which to do it. So I'm going to just drop this. You know what I'm not sure I've done? I'm not sure if I have clicked on, if I've clicked on share sound. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see if you can hear. Otherwise, I need to go back and do something about sharing sound when I stop my share. Okay, so what do you see now, Ersi? Do you see the video or do you see the presentation still?
No, I see the presentation.
Okay. So let's see. We're back to share. Share sound. Optimize for video clip. Now you should see, everybody should see the wait a minute, wrong one. Let's look to find it. Stop share that one. It's in here. Right, got it. Do you see the 11 proven strategies to develop a growth mindset now?
Not yet, dear.
Not yet. We'll get there. I have a growth mindset about this. I'm not able to do it that easily, but I'm going to get this done. I'm going to find this. I really am. Okay, so
No.
Maybe if you open the video on
Now?
YouTube.
I think you have
Yes.
it now. Yeah, good. See? All right, so I've put up English. I haven't put into auto-translate subtitles because we have multiple languages, but I've put up English subtitles just to help. Sometimes they're not 100% accurate, but it may help some people to follow. For our Turkish friends, if you want to find it online, you could also watch it with Turkish subtitles if you can do that through auto-translate. However, it's very simple. There's not a lot of conversation. There's a lot of writing. So I think that most people, for the purposes of this workshop, will be able to follow it. And then if you want to go through it in more detail, you can access it yourself. Okay. So we're ready? Let's go.
Want to learn a major principle of personal success? It's having what's called a growth mindset. Hi, my name is Joy, and in this 7-minute success video, I'll be talking about 11 proven strategies you can use to develop a growth mindset in your life. But first, let's talk about another type of mindset. According to Stanford professor and author Carol Dweck, there are 2 types of mindsets: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Fixed mindset people believe their personal traits can't be changed. These people document their intelligence and talents rather than work to improve on them. Their core belief is that talent alone leads to success, On the other hand, people with a growth mindset believe learning and intelligence can grow with time and experience. They realize that effort has an effect on their success, so they're willing to put in extra time and more work. They believe that basic abilities are just a starting point for what can be achieved in life. So, the bottom line? If you'd like to reach your full potential, then the simplest way to do it is to develop a growth mindset. And here are 11 ways to make this happen. 1. View challenges as opportunities. We are constantly faced with important decisions, such as whether to accept a new job or signing up to take a new class. Taking on these challenges is a big part of developing as a person. The more we challenge ourselves, the more opportunities we have to learn about what makes us tick. Simply put, new challenges equal new opportunities. So to develop that growth mindset, look for different ways to challenge yourself, push yourself, and learn new things. 2. Prioritize learning over seeking approval. When you're more concerned about other people's approval, you miss out on many opportunities to grow. So stop worrying about what other people think. Instead, focus on bettering yourself for your own benefit. 3. Focus on the process instead of the end result. People who have a growth mindset also have a willingness to learn. That's why it's important to enjoy the learning process so you're able to get the most from each experience. Sure, it's important to have goals, but one of the keys to success is to learn valuable lessons as you deal with unexpected challenges. 4. Cultivate a sense of purpose. People with a growth mindset can look at long-term goals and have a larger sense of purpose for their lives. So keep the end goal in mind and always look at the big picture. Ask yourself the following on a regular basis. Is what you're currently working on part of a major life goal? If you frequently say no to this question, then take time to reevaluate your priorities. 5. Choose learning well over learning fast. This goes back to strategy 3. Learning isn't something that can be rushed. You should be willing to make mistakes and experience challenges. Which leads us to 6. Making mistakes does not mean you're a failure. You're not a failure if you need to improve on something. In fact, making a mistake simply means that you're on the right track. You're just not there yet. So in the words of Thomas Edison, never get discouraged if you fail. Learn from it. Keep trying. And speaking of mistakes, number 7, learn from the mistakes of others. You shouldn't compare yourself to other people, but when you see someone make a mistake, keep it in mind for the future when you're in a similar situation. Pretend that it was you making the mistake and ask yourself, how can I apply this hard lesson to my life? 8. Learn to receive constructive criticism. Think of criticism as a teachable moment. If you're weak in one area and someone points it out to you, use this as a signal that you should work on this area of your life. Don't take constructive criticism personally. Often these people are trying to help you. So think of criticism as a way to learn and grow as a person. 9. Cultivate grit. According to Angela Duckworth, grit is a perseverance and passion for long-term goals. You can break this concept into 2 components. First, the ability to stick to long-term goals, and secondly, the ability to keep going despite adversity. So if you'd like to learn how to keep going whenever you're experiencing adversity, then I recommend reading Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance, and implementing the strategies that Duckworth outlines in her book. 10. Set a new goal for every milestone you achieve. Success is an ongoing process. Growth-minded people are constantly creating new goals so they can stay motivated in their professional and personal projects. Personal growth is never finished, as there's always another goal to reach or another interesting project to tackle. 11. Remember that it takes time to succeed in anything. Nothing worth doing comes quickly and easily. You have to be realistic about the time it takes to learn new information, implement it, and figure out what actually works. So bottom line, if you'd like to truly master something in your life, be prepared to work at it for a long time. So, there you have it. 11 proven ways to develop the growth mindset. Do you feel like there's something to be learned by embracing a growth mindset? Or Do you often feel trapped by the limitations of a fixed mindset? Want to learn additional ways to build a growth mindset? To get the answers to these questions, click the link to the full article that's included in this video. And if you'd like to watch more actionable videos on how to improve your personal success, then be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.
Okay. So, what do you think?
Teresa, you're muted if you're trying to share something.
I can't hear you, Ersin.
No. Everyone was muted. Teresa, if you want to say something, unmute because I see you're trying to. No?
Sorry?
Did you wanted to say something? Share something, Teresa?
No. We are just
okay.
talking about these goals and not goals. Yeah, sorry, goals. And we were saying that sometimes it's difficult to accept constructive criticism. That is a problem because earlier on you were talking about in the companies or at work it's difficult. Some of these goals are difficult. And we were saying that accepting constructive criticism is difficult. And Inês was talking about view challenges as opportunities as something related with Lean because she works with Lean. Okay. And that last one, that having a growth mindset, it takes time. So never give up, and that we have to do with our mentees from now on. Yeah. We also thought it was interesting. The one that I think it was the second one that says, focus on bettering yourself.
Yeah, for yourself.
Yeah, because sometimes
not for the approval of somebody.
Yeah. Exatamente, sorry. because sometimes we are too worried about the opinion of others. We also have that, using that in our work. In meetings, when I have teachers meetings, staff meetings, we are too worried about the approval of others, and sometimes we don't share our opinions, and that is our way of being and our mindset, and that's it. That is that. So challenges as opportunities, bettering yourself, keep the goal in mind that takes time, and accepting constructive criticism. We are talking about that, and we were comparing with our school. That's why we were talking about it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to share their thinking? I mean, if you could build that kind of mindset in the young women you are working with, how wonderful would it be? If they could believe in themselves, if they could believe in their power to grow, you will have done an amazing job. And I think that you will have the link for the video and everything uploaded. It might be worth sharing that video with your mentees as well. It might be worth sharing it with your colleagues. And it might very well be worth following it up and looking at some of the other materials that they provide. Okay. Now,
can I just share something?
Yes, of course.
Because it's connected with the project, but not with the webinar. Because we are having in Portugal, we had a web summit that is spoken all over the world. We have lots of people participating. And yesterday, my school director, she sent me a link. The government is implementing from next year a program to be so that schools are more inclusive in what concerns STEM and girls. So it's one of the focus of the government. So we are going to share it in our meeting next week, and we are going to put it on the website, link, and so on. So it's a concern. It's not just our concerns, not just gender rates concern, but it's a concern in our country. So
well, it's wonderful that the government is doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's wonderful that the government is supporting you, but it is something we can do as individuals. with ourselves, our families, our mentees, with our colleagues, our like-minded colleagues, and in our schools. Okay, let's see what we do here. I need to start sharing again with you the presentation. Okay, so there is a QR code that you will find that you can link to it. But if you just put 11 proven strategies to develop a growth mindset in YouTube, you'll find it too. Okay, now I'm going to pick up on one of the things that you just mentioned, which was coaching for a growth mindset. Moving on with this idea of how do we actually do it? So here are some questions that are good questions to ask to develop a growth mindset in yourself and in your mentee. First of all, what did you learn from today's performance? And somebody much wiser than me said a long time ago that the question is the strongest tool in human communication. Whenever we tell people things, we don't really know if they heard it or if they dropped shutters. We don't know if they learnt it. We don't know if they accepted it. Oh gosh, guys, for some reason my battery is just about to go, I think. Let me just, okay, wasn't connected. By asking the question, that person grows, that person walks towards us. So when you ask a question like, what did you learn from today's performance? It has them thinking. Now they may say nothing. I didn't learn anything. So we keep going with the questions. Well, when you did this, how did you feel? When you did that, what was the result? Questions are key to mentoring. I don't think telling helps people get very far. Asking questions and following up with more questions and asking people about impact of behaviors is where we start to get growth. What steps did you take to make you successful? Or what steps did you take that got in the way? What are some different strategies you could have used? And if they say, well, I don't know, if I knew different strategies, I'd have used them. Then you say, if you tried this approach, what would be the benefits? What would be the disadvantages? Because although we say we can't give everything to our students, we can ask the right questions to have them thinking about it. How did you keep going when things got tough or tiring? What can you learn from your team or your classmates today? What are they doing? How can you learn from them? And, of course, we have this. Now, feedback. People don't like constructive criticism. I don't even like the word criticism. I like the word feedback. And I like what we do a lot of now, call it in the corporate world, which is feed forward. So we're looking for what can be done differently for next time, rather than what went wrong last time. Giving people feedback, giving people information is like serving food. Let's take coffee. If you serve coffee to people, I like mine, I like espressos with no sugar and no milk. If I give that to many people, they'll go, ugh. If you give me coffee with a lot of milk and sugar, I will go, ugh. So how we serve it has to be tailored to the needs and the preferences of that other person. And giving people feedback to develop a growth mindset has a special sort of approach. Now, here I've got 5 bad examples This is a very difficult topic, perhaps too difficult for you. I see that you're struggling with this. Never mind, you can't be good at everything. How long are you going to keep on getting it wrong? You need to be more careful. This wasn't a good idea. It's not enough to try. You need to get it right. So I'd like you to take 5 minutes, please, to rewrite those pieces of feedback. How could you put the feedback in a way that develops a growth mindset? And again, talk between yourselves, come up with some ideas, then I'll share you my suggestions and we can compare. And they're not going to be a right or wrong answer. It's just going to be, does this develop a growth mindset enough? Or does it encourage a fixed mindset? Okay, so in your language groups as you are, or by yourselves, please just reconsider how we rewrite, re-express these expressions so that they help develop a growth mindset. Whoa, giving you too many clicks there. Does anybody have any questions? It's clear. I'll just give you 5 minutes.
We are ready, Jan.
Okay, great. Thanks.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly. Sorry.
It's Jean. It's Jean, like the blue jeans that we all love.
Yeah.
It's
Because,
okay.
yeah,
Everybody calls me Jean because
it's
that's the way it looks.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. You just have to remember blue jeans.
We need a couple more minutes, if
Okay.
that's possible.
Of course it is.
But we cannot see the
Oh,
sentences anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are we ready? Yeah. Okay, so
Bye-bye.
I'll show you our suggestion, but obviously there are going to be many different versions. This could be expressed in 100 different ways and every one of them be right. So your task is to decide if your example has the same heart, let me say. Is it coming from the same place in the heart? Is it encouraging? So let's go. You can't lie. If something is difficult, it's difficult. So something along the lines of recognizing, yeah, it is difficult. I don't like the word difficult. I think it makes people feel negative. So I use words like challenging. This is a challenging concept to learn, but I believe you can master it. Everybody got something a bit like that? Yeah, good. You haven't got it yet. If you explore the idea of coaching a growth mindset and look at Carol Dweck's material, you will see that a lot. Not yet. But you will if you keep working and thinking about it. So again, we're giving feedback. It has to be realistic. Yeah. You're not going to tell a student, yeah, you're great. You're not going to give them that A there or that C that they're looking for if they're not there yet. But that is the thing we need to build in students. They don't fail because they didn't get the C. They're not there yet, but they can get there if they put in the work. Okay? How long are you going to keep on getting it wrong? I really appreciate your effort today. It didn't work out, but the effort was there because they kept on getting it wrong. So they were putting in effort, even if it wasn't making the success. It's okay to take risks and make mistakes. That's how we learn. Depending on the mistake, you may need to have a conversation there about what are the criteria we need to take into consideration before we move forward. It has to be a safe risk. It's not enough to try, you need to get it right. Getting better takes time, and I see that you're improving. Okay, so thinking about how we communicate, what is the underlying message that we are sending? That you're a failure? That you can't do it? Or are we sending the message that you're not there yet, but you can get there? Right? Okay, so this is our last activity. And I may need to actually step out soon after this. So I'm going to ask Katerina, is she there, to put the schools in breakout rooms and have them discuss the following questions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like, please take a photo or a screenshot of those 3 questions, and then you can work on them. So as a group, you're going to have one student or one mentee together. You're all going to work on the same person. You think about somebody who seems to show a fixed mindset, or if you want, you can go generally. What would you do or say to help someone move towards a growth mindset? And if you have a particular student in mind, that's even better. And you yourselves, what can you change in your approach as a mentor to promote growth mindset in your mentees or in the people around you? Okay, are the questions clear, my friends? Yeah, okay. So, Katerina, are you ready to put them into break?
Can I just ask, I'm sorry, because I don't know everyone's program because it's already 2:25.
Okay, so we can leave this as an activity for homework.
I think so, because maybe they have classes or something, so I don't want to make everyone late.
That's a good point.
Yes, So let's have this activity anyway. It is in the PowerPoint, and you can work on it on your own. And I think, Jean, if you want to summarize or close, like end the
Okay, all right.
couple of minutes.
So I think you're right, Ursi. I think it's a very good idea for people to do it in groups afterwards, because to be honest, 15 minutes is not a lot of time. So you may well like to work in your groups and think, what are we going to do differently? How are we going to do this? So yeah. Okay, so one of the things that we have said about monitoring progress and providing ongoing support are how to keep the relationship alive. There is some time, some plans, communication, plan and schedule, share personal goals, aspirations, mutual respect, become a role model for your mentees, and allocate time for feedback. The mutual respect thing is quite challenging these days. Younger people come in with a very different approach from what other generations have had. There is no right, there is no wrong. There is only what is, how they are, and then how we work with them. Communication and change are key. Gender mainstreaming are key. Establishing and monitoring the key performance indicators. How will you know you've got gender mainstreaming? I'm going to go fast. You have here some ideas. And as Ursi already mentioned, that these guidelines of how to give and receive and accept feedback are equally to mentees and mentors. There is no perfect mentor. There is only if the mentor is right for the person. There is no one size fits all. So asking for feedback from your mentee about how you can best support them, what you can do differently, doesn't mean you are ineffective. It means that you are effective, actually. So there's no one size fits all. Each mentor will need to adapt their style to each mentee. And in conclusion, we have these points for you. Oh, it's a wonderful job that you're going to be doing. Young women need mentorship, especially in male-dominated environments. You both need to strive towards a growth mindset and be open to feedback for development. There are effective mentorship strategies, which the project goes into quite a lot of detail and give you the skills and the structure to inspire and motivate female students. There are the skills, ongoing skills. We all need to develop more, our active listening, our empathy, and how we give constructive feedback. You might want to take me up and look into the concept of feed forward. And building networks, raising awareness, creating supportive learning environments, because our mentoring is not happening just in isolation, it's going out into the community afterwards. There's a lot of information in Generate on that for you. Making sure that your school, chasing your school to get them to implement and enforce gender equality policies. And again, a lot of information in Generate. And finally, ongoing monitoring and support are vital to track progress. How will you know that your mentorship is working? Yeah, and again, Generate has a lot of material on that for you. And that is it from me. So thank you very, very much, everybody, for joining. I look forward to working with you again, and I wish you the best of luck in this incredibly valuable role that you will be playing. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.